This is the sound of all the things you want. And this is the sound of getting it super fast with GoPuff. Download now and order in seconds for delivery in minutes, all for a flat fee of $1.95. This is the sound of all the things you want. And this is the sound of getting it super fast with GoPuff. Download now and order in seconds for delivery in minutes, all for a flat fee of $1.95.
If you suffer from heartburn, did you know there's a natural, drug-free way to still enjoy your favorite foods? I'm Carolyn Harrington, the founder of Maddie's. I develop pure, simple, natural remedies that help millions of people across the country, and I've developed Maddie's Acid and Indigestion Relief. I guarantee you'll love it or we'll refund your money. You can find Maddie's at Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens in the digestive aisle. Also available on Amazon. Learn more at matys.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We waited 30 years.
The wait is over.
But this season,
What happens now? Champions of baseball.
it's time to defend the crown. This is World Champion Dodger Talk.
It's yours, Los Angeles.
Breaking down the world champion LA Dodgers all season long.
So happy, man.
LA Dodgers baseball is brought to you by Chef Marito,
seasoning partner of the Dodgers.
Navi and Tankless Water Heaters,
For endless hot water, visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
and by Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Don't miss an episode and get all the podcasts on the iHeartRadio app. Now your host, LA's favorite Dodger insider.
The city's favorite son.
Here's David Vassegh.
Welcome to Dodger Talk. David Vassegh live at Dodger Stadium, where the Houston Astros shut out the Dodgers tonight by a final score of 3-0. A disappointing night for the Dodger offense, but they kind of ran into a buzzsaw in one man, Lance McCullers, who was really good tonight. 6 2/3 scoreless innings. He had 9 strikeouts during that time being on the mound, and the Dodgers had no answers. You heard what Will Smith said earlier, that McCullers had them off balance all night long and maybe made 2 mistakes tonight that the Dodgers missed. They only had 5 hits tonight, and I would say 4 of them were off the regulars. Walker Buehler had 1 of those 5 hits tonight. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. I thought the key at bat in tonight's game came in the bottom of the 7th inning, and it looked like the Dodgers might have something going after they were able to force Dusty Baker's hand to take Lance McCullers out of the game. He brought in lefty reliever Blake Taylor in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 on and 2 out to face Max Muncy, which I thought, obviously, conventional wisdom says that's a good matchup. But this season, Max Muncy has actually fared better against lefties than he has against righties. So I thought even though it was a lefty on the mound, it was a good matchup for Muncy, who has hit .317 with 7 home runs coming into the game against lefties. So I wasn't really concerned that there was a lefty on the mound, and Max proved that to be true because he fought for a 9-pitch at-bat. Unfortunately, he swung and missed at a pitch that was outside the strike zone, trying to do too much, maybe getting out of his knowledge of the strike zone, because he is the best as far as being very stubborn at swinging at pitches outside of the strike zone, and that time he did and ended the inning. Also, in the 8th inning, I guess the Dodgers had another 2-out rally going with a couple of men on base, but Cody Bellinger struck out looking to end the 8th inning against Kendall Graveman, the shiny new toy the Astros picked up at the trade deadline from the Seattle Mariners. And you know what? It's interesting in sports, especially baseball. When you are struggling, the game always seems to find you. If you're struggling defensively, the ball always seems to find you. The Dodgers have dropped Bellinger in the batting order. He's now hitting 7th, 8th, 7th tonight, and even with that, the game found him. A pivotal point in the game found him. It also found him earlier in the game in the fourth inning with a couple of men on base and one out, and he flew out to center field. He just missed hitting that one, possibly over the center field wall. So, it's just amazing how the game finds you. No matter where you're hitting in the lineup, if you're struggling, it always seems to find you. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. It was interesting to see the fans' reaction tonight as well. I noticed being on the field before the game that the fans were yelling some boos. You could hear them sporadically through the stands when fans got here with batting practice being available when the Astros got in there. And then all of a sudden, you hear Jose out. Well, first of all, you hear the boos, and you're wondering, all right, what's going on? And you look who's in the batting cage, and it's Jose Altuve taking batting practice. So all of a sudden, you hear the boos rain down like there was a full house already at Dodger Stadium. And there were a lot more fans in the stadium for batting practice than what they usually are, but still, the boos were deafening at that point in time of the day before the game even started. Also, I thought it was cool to see Dusty Baker get a lot of love from Dodger fans. They were hollering at him when he was behind the cage, saying how much they love him, that you're always a Dodger, and he reciprocated, tipped his hat, waved his bat. Dusty's awesome. Everybody loves Dusty Baker, and forever in Los Angeles, he'll be remembered as a Dodger and part of that 1981 World Series team. Then the game started, and Jose Altuve led off the game starting at second base.
And in the pregame introductions, it was this man who incurred the loudest boos as he makes his way to home plate. 5'5" Jose Altuve, and the fans are letting him have it.
Oh yeah, it was quite a scene here at Dodger Stadium when Altuve and Correa, those two especially, stepped in the batter's box, and this crowd, sellout crowd, had something to cheer about in the fourth inning when Correa had trouble transferring the ball out of his glove, trying to get it to Jose Altuve. That was exactly what this crowd wanted, and they got it. They made mistakes in that play, in that instance, and they were able to boo them. And then in the seventh inning, with 2 outs, Blake Trinan picked off Jose Altuve to end the top of the seventh inning. So they got something else to cheer about there. But that's where, I guess, the boos and the fun nature booing, sometimes I'm sure in certain instances, there was some angry boos, but to throw foul balls back on the field while the game is going on, that's completely crossing the line. And you heard Will Smith say it was difficult for Walker Buehler to keep his patience and his rhythm. So if you're a Dodger fan and you're throwing foul balls back onto the field of play, you're not only going to get ejected, but you're not helping your team. So I don't know why you would do that. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Let's go out to the phones. Andy was at Dodger Stadium tonight. You're on Dodger Talk with David Vassay. Hi, Andy.
Hey, David. What's up, man? I just got picked up, waiting outside. I'm with my daughter. She's 10. We came to the game tonight. I just got to say, man, I respect you immensely. I've listened to you forever on Dodgers Talk. You're great. You're phenomenal. But I got to say, man, just as a fan, dude, like, showing up tonight, brought my kid. I spent $600 on 2 tickets tonight. I went to the Clippers Game 3, saw them turn it around and win against the Jazz. I've gone to Kings games where they turn around and won. This was a big game, man, for fans. And, like, I feel what you're saying about throwing Walker Buehler off his rhythm, dude. But I'm going to be honest, man, like, we were loud. We showed up. We were chanting. We were there. And you know what, dude? You know what? Fans don't want that tainted cheater juju on their balls if they catch it, man.
I appreciate you saying that, but do they throw basketballs onto the court at Clipper games or hockey pucks onto the ice in the middle of a game? So Andy, throwing baseballs onto the field in the middle of the game is crossing the line. You could pay your $600, but don't cross the line.
Hey, man, I feel you, but when it comes to
you don't feel me.
Game,
I don't think you are feeling me, Andy. I'm sorry. I don't think you are feeling me, and thanks for the phone call. I respect how much money fans pay, and you have your right to boo, but once you start to interfere with the game itself by throwing foul balls onto the field, sorry, that's where you've crossed the line. And it's clearly written on the back of your ticket that if you do that, you're going to be ejected. Todd Lights had to make an announcement over the PA. When's the last time you heard that? You're out of here if you do it. Let's go out to Manny, who is at Dodger Stadium tonight. You're on Dodger Talk with David Vassay. Hi, Manny.
Hey, David. How you doing this evening? Listen, I just want to really quick give you some kudos. I loved the interview with Reggie this evening. Thought that was awesome, man. I even learned a few things, too, with him saying that he was almost a Dodger. I thought that was great. So good stuff tonight. I went with my brother tonight to the game. The energy was awesome. The fans we were totally emotionally invested tonight, and I'm sure you even felt that being there. I got to agree with you, man. That throwing the ball stuff onto the field, that is trash to me. That is unacceptable, and I've been going to games since I was like 5 years old, and I'm 35 years old. You should not ever do that to a game or to a player. Even the Dodger fans throwing it back, what is that? I'm asking myself, what are we doing here? You know, we're shooting ourselves in the feet. Let's get to the game, though. I thought Walker Buehler, he emptied the tank tonight. I give him so much kudos and so much credit. Walker, if you're listening, we're there for you, buddy. But this falls strictly on the offense tonight. No one got anything going. I thought everyone tried to pull the ball into the freaking home run pavilions. I had no idea what was going on. We couldn't get a rally going tonight. We just kept stranding guys. We left 10 guys on base tonight on the bases, and it was just really hard. You know, normally I like to blame Roberts right away, but you know what? What can the coach do when the guys can't pick up the bat and throw it out there? And I got to mention one guy that my brother David was begging me to mention. I just dropped him off over in Boyle Heights. Cody Bellinger. Listen, I get it. You got your base hit tonight. It was off an awkward batting approach, and I'm glad you got it hit, Cody. But, man, we are really hurting tonight. We got 3 MVPs on the team, Betts, Bellinger, Seager. Vassay, what else can we do tonight? I don't know how to get a rally going.
You got to tip your cap to Lance McCullers, Manny. There's a little bit of that factor as well. Lance McCullers is having a great season, and he was exploiting a lot of Dodger hitter weaknesses tonight, and he was executing his pitches. So I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, but you have to give credit to Lance McCullers. And as far as throwing the baseballs onto the field, yeah, that's not something you want to do. And by the way, some of those baseballs didn't make it on the field and actually hit people in the first row because guys that thought they were machismo couldn't even get it over the netting. So you're hurting fans, too, on top of it. 866-987-2570. Let's go out to Emilio, who was at Dodger Stadium tonight. You're on Dodger Talk with David Vassay. Hi, Emilio.
David, what's going on, brother? I was at the game with my 2 brothers and my dad. Let me tell you, that atmosphere at Dodger Stadium, I've been going. I'm 27 years old. I've been going to so many games. That atmosphere was out of the world. I loved it. It was great.
It was great. I'm just pointing out some of the people that crossed the line. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I'm with you. When I was seeing that go down, I'm like, come on, fans. Let's not put a bad name on us. You know, let's give them the boos. F. Correa, F. Altuve, Oompa Loompa. You know, all that's fine. But
yeah, boo them. That's fine, but don't be throwing baseballs onto the field, Emilio. I'm with you, and I'm glad you and your family had a great time out here at Dodger Stadium. 866-987-2570. I guess the one thing that is positive, in a small way, small consolation when we're talking about offense, A.J. Pollock was able to extend his hitting streak to a career-high 12 games, and he was hitting 8th. He was just named the player of the week, and he was hitting 8th tonight. That's how good the Dodger lineup seemingly was tonight. They just couldn't get anything going against Lance McCullers. 866-987-2570. Let's go out to James in North Hollywood. You're on Dodger Talk with David Vassay. Hi, James.
Hey, David. How you doing? I was actually at the game tonight as well, and I have to echo your sentiments on the foul balls onto the field. The inflatable trash cans, great.
Yeah.
Go for it. But you know what? If it's a home run ball, all right. toss it back. But foul balls, come on. And I think what Will Smith said was spot on. And I also love what you said about A.J. Pollock. And my only question is, with him hitting .432 on an 11-game hitting streak, why is he hitting eighth? I mean, I hate to say it, but you know what? With Trey Turner eventually coming into this lineup, I mean, you might have to bench Bellinger and let him figure it out, not in our lineup. But outside of that, incredible atmosphere. So cool to see a World Series-type game in August, and I'm going tomorrow as well to watch it because it's that good.
Yeah, it was playoff-like atmosphere here at Dodger Stadium tonight. You felt it as soon as you walked into the stadium. You felt it when fans were allowed into the stadium that this had a big game feel, and it didn't disappoint in that respect. But like I said, some fans crossed the line, and when they cross the line, it makes all of you look bad. The world is watching. Don't forget that. This is not a local game. It's being broadcast all over the country, all over the world. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Let's go out to Nick in San Pedro. You're on Dodger Talk with David Vassay. Hi, Nick.
Hey, David. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well, Nick. It was a fun game. Unfortunately, Lance McCullers was better than Walker Buehler tonight.
Yeah, he pitched a hell of a game, pardon my language, but yeah, he did. We had a lot of trouble with the slider and knuckle curve. But what are we going to do about Cody, sir?
I don't know. I think Cody has to do something about Cody. We don't have to do anything for him.
Yeah, he needs to rework that swing a little, bend the knees a little, rework that long swing. I have a feeling if Trey Turner get there, we're going to find Cody on the disabled list thing going for rehab at Camelback, trying to find a swing.
Maybe. I don't know about that, Nick, but he certainly is looking for answers. And at least tonight, say what you will, it wasn't a great at-bat in the eighth inning, but his other two at-bats were better than what we have seen recently. He flew out to deep center in the fourth inning, flew out to center in the seventh, got a single in the second inning, so I feel like it's getting closer. And look, you could say all you want about Cody's swing, the way he starts, all of that, and that's fair. But let's not forget, this guy is going through a season that has been injury-plagued even before the bell rang. Shoulder surgery on his right shoulder, his lead shoulder, before the season started. Got a late start to spring training because of it. Then on the first road trip, pitcher steps on his left leg. He breaks a bone in his left leg and is put on the shelf. Then comes back and a week or two later strains his left hamstring. So this guy has gotten no rhythm to his season, while pitchers are way farther ahead of him than any other hitter that's been playing all season long. So I think we have to take that into account as well when we're criticizing Cody Bellinger. The best case scenario for Cody Bellinger and the Dodgers is he finds some sort of rhythm going into September. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. When we continue on Dodger Talk live from Dodger Stadium, we'll check in with Ned Colletti, who is out there in the center field plaza on the Sportsnet LA stage. We'll get his thoughts on tonight's game, the crowd, and the atmosphere at Dodger Stadium. Unfortunately, Dusty Baker's Astros shut out the Dodgers tonight 3-0 on AM 570 LA Sports.
This is the sound of all the things you want. And this is the sound of getting it super fast with GoPuff. Download now and order in seconds for delivery in minutes, all for a flat fee of $1.95.
If you suffer from heartburn, did you know there's a natural, drug-free way to still enjoy your favorite foods? I'm Carolyn Harrington, the founder of Maddie's. I develop pure, simple, natural remedies that help millions of people across the country, and I've developed Maddie's acid and indigestion relief. I guarantee you'll love it or we'll refund your money. You can find Maddie's at Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens in the digestive aisle. Also available on Amazon. Learn more at matys.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Dodger Talk on your home of the world champion Dodgers. Follow us on Instagram at AM570LA Sports for more Dodger content.
The home of the Dodgers, AM570 LA Sports.
David Bassett, live at Dodger Stadium. This is Dodger Talk. The Dodgers fall to the Houston Astros tonight by a final score of 3-0. Lance McCullers, 6 2/3 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts. Yordan Alvarez, a former Dodger minor league product, hit his 20th home run of the season in the 8th inning in front of 52,692, the largest crowd for a baseball game this season in Major League Baseball. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Let's check in with Ned Colletti, who was at Dodger Stadium all night long in the center field plaza. Ned, number one, the atmosphere at Dodger Stadium, did it feel like a playoff game to you?
Oh, it felt like a World Series game. It was electric, a lot of emotion, a lot of anticipation, and people were into it. They were into it pitch by pitch. Great crowd, and except for a few interruptions here and there, nothing else really of note, I don't think. But great game, bad outcome. But everybody, I think, really, except for the outcome, enjoyed themselves.
I think it's always great when you and Hartung and Jerry or Nomar are out there on the stage in the center field plaza, always having fans surrounding you guys. What was the atmosphere for your broadcast before and after the game with all that?
Oh, it was the loudest it's been, and we've been out and doing pre and post for most of the season. It was easily the loudest, and the fans showed a lot of creativity, a lot of cool signs, a lot of costume, a lot of different T-shirts and things like that. So, they're paying attention. They understand what's at stake, and they understand what went on back in 2017. And well behaved, but really passionate about their team.
Ned, you look at the Dodger bullpen this year, they have given up the third fewest home runs in the National League, including the one that Alvarez hit off of Victor Gonzalez in the 8th inning. But more concerning are the walks. They have walked almost 170 hitters. That's the 8th most in the National League. Is that the biggest issue with the Dodger bullpen and how they're getting into trouble?
Well, you really should never do that. I mean, whether you're a starter or a reliever, but especially a reliever, because you're coming in most of the time in a high leverage situation, and to allow a base runner who doesn't reach via a hit, you can't do it because it sets up other things in motion too. If you've walked a hitter suddenly now, and you're in a crucial spot, suddenly now you've got to make a more precise pitch, at least in your own mind. And a lot of times following up a walk or sometimes 2 walks, you're going to see a pitcher be almost too careful and throw a pitch in a different spot. Like Oral Hershiser always talks about control and command and what the difference is. Control is throwing strikes. Command is where you throw a strike. And a lot of times when a pitcher struggles with their command and their control and walk hitters, next thing you know, the command goes wayward too because the pressure to throw a strike suddenly mounts. And a lot of times you'll find a walk, then you're going to find a hit that follows up in that inning. So it's imperative that you stay ahead of counts and you make the hitters earn their way on. The walks will crush you.
Ned, from your perspective tonight, how much of it was Lance McCullers and how much of it was the Dodger hitters getting shut out?
Well, I think a little bit of both. A lot of credit to McCullers Jr. Really a fierce competitor. He had 2 of the most fiercest competitors you'll see tonight going up against each other between Lance and Walker, and tomorrow certainly with Max Scherzer making his debut. But I thought he pitched great. I thought his slider was a tremendous working pitch. He used it on the inner half of the plate a couple times with Will Smith to right-handed hitters. And then it also used the right-handed hitters away, and like a slider to the Beatty to the left-handed hitter to the back foot. Those are so tough to lay off of and so tough to handle. And he was masterful with it. And obviously he's got a real good fastball, so he could mix them in. I thought the at bat his last hitter I thought the Mookie at bat was really a classic at bat of two really, really talented, competitive players. Mookie started out 0-2, ends up leading to a walk, and then McCullers comes out of the game. But he was excellent. I think in the Dodgers case, you have 8 runners. You're 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. You leave 10 runners on. Houston commits a couple of errors in the infield that makes McCullers go longer and deeper in the innings. So that's something you watch the Dodgers, you typically see them take advantage of it. But to McCullers' credit, when he needed to make a pitch, he made a pitch. And Taylor got Muncy on that key strikeout. Max, a little bit of a tough night, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. But, sometimes the other team is going to pitch too and play well too. And I think Houston played very well tonight.
Hey, the Astros have the best record in the American League, and they added to that tonight with their 65th win of the year, shutting out the Dodgers 3-0. You mentioned it, Ned. Max Scherzer making his Dodger debut tomorrow night. As electric as Dodger Stadium was tonight, I feel like it might be a tick more with Scherzer on the mound tomorrow night.
Well, it's also, you've got to win a game in this series, and tonight sets up tomorrow, and you love having Max on the mound. He's not, he's going to love the environment. He's going to love making his debut in a game with the magnitude that tomorrow night's game will bring. So you've got the right guy in the mound in the right environment in the right situation. He will always remember his Dodger debut, but in the environment of tomorrow night, and in pitching in this key game, and the Giants lost tonight, so everybody kind of stays where they were at 3.5 back for the Dodgers. It's a key game. It's maybe not a must-win at this stage, but it's getting close to being a must-win. You've got a guy out there that obviously has had many, many games like this, but is first in Dodger blue.
Hey, it's getting late early. We're in August now, and it's a sprint to the finish with the Giants 4 games ahead of the Dodgers in the loss column. Ned, before I let you go, one of the great broadcasters in Dodger history, the Hall of Famer, Jaime Harin, complimented you to me. He said you do an outstanding job on Sportsnet LA, so I had to pass that along to you publicly.
Well, you're very kind. Thank you. And Jaime's one of my all-time favorites. It's truly an honor to have been around him for all these years, and Vince Scully prior to his retirement. And Dodgers have been blessed with 2 of the greatest describers of baseball in the history of the sport. So coming from him, that means a lot. Thank you, David.
Great job, Ned. We will talk to you tomorrow night after Scherzer's Dodger debut.
All right, we'll be waiting. See you later. Thank you.
Okay, there he goes. Ned Coletti doing his thing out there in the center field plaza on the Sportsnet LA studios. Go by there, say hi to the guys. John Hartung, he looks intimidating, but he's a teddy bear, so go out there and say hello. 866-987-2570. Dodgers shut out by the Astros tonight, 3-0. Let's go out to Jesse, who was at Dodger Stadium tonight. You're on Dodger Talk. How you doing, Jesse?
Good, David. How you doing tonight?
Fantastic. It was a great atmosphere out here tonight.
Yeah, it was actually electric. Definitely felt like a playoff game. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you guys, AM 570 LA Sports, for the tickets. I actually won the tickets yesterday with Tim Cates.
Hey, congratulations, Jesse. I heard you really gave him a sob story to win those tickets, by the way.
No, it was 100% true. 100. I was at Game 7 in 2017.
You don't have to go through it again. You don't have to go through it again.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it wasn't a sob story. It was the absolute truth. Okay. Anyhow, a couple of observations today. You talked about Max Muncy today going 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. In his at-bat, that key at-bat you talked about, why not bring in Albert Pujols at that time to pinch hit and maybe, light the fire or something? He's been doing it all year, and he's been hot. He was hot in Arizona. Why not bring him in and pinch hit and see what make something happen?
Because you're not pinch hitting for Max Muncy. I just mentioned that he's better against lefties than he is against righties, and you're not pinch hitting Albert Pujols for Max Muncy, Jesse. Thanks a lot for the phone call. Glad Tim Cates gave you those tickets. 866-987-2570. Let's go out to Raider Nation, Las Vegas. Kevin, you're on Dodger Talk. How you doing, Kevin?
What's up, Vasse? Out here for some business. How you doing, boss?
Oh, out there in Vegas for business. All right, Kevin. We won't ask too many questions.
Yeah. Look, I love the Max Scherzer trade. Trey Turner, I feel like we're going to win the World Series. And, about Cody Bellinger, just real quick, we don't have World Series rings on our finger if it's not for Bellinger hitting one of the best clutch home runs in Dodger history, right up there with Kirk Gibson in Game 7 against the Braves. So Cody's going to find his bat. I appreciate what Cody's done. Just a quick thing about this trade. Look, I know we have to get these guys. I love JoJo Gray. I think he's got swing and miss stuff. He's going to be another Walker Buehler. He's going to be a stud. Keeper Ruiz looks like another Pudge Rodriguez. But if we're giving up all of this,
you're really throwing out some comparisons out there, Kevin.
Have some long-term contracts, some long-term commitments from these guys. Do you think we're going to sign these guys? I know we got Trey Turner under control. You think Scherzer's going to sign an extension? I love the Mookie Betts trade because it was Mookie, and we gave up a lot with Verdugo.
I don't know, Kevin. Kevin, I don't know if they're going to sign Scherzer to an extension, but you can't undervalue the part of Trey Turner being part of this trade. That was probably the only reason why the Dodgers were willing to trade Keibert Ruiz and make this a bigger deal to include Trey Turner, because I'm not sure the Dodgers would have just handed over Keibert Ruiz for 2 months of Max Scherzer. And you saying that he's going to be the next Pudge Rodriguez and Josiah Gray is going to be the next Walker Buehler, I love you, Kevin, but I'm not sure that's the case. 866-987-2570. Let's go out to Sherman Oaks. Perrin, you're on Dodger Talk. How you doing, Perrin?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, Dave. How are you?
Oh, it can't be that bad in Sherman Oaks, Perrin.
No, it's good. I'm just a little bummed about the game. But let me preface my call by saying, giving you a little bit of praise, man. You've been great lately. I was really proud of the job you did doing color before the break. And the interview with Reggie Jackson today was outstanding. It's funny how much cooler you are than Petros now. It's all flipped around back in the day when they used to rag on you. And every time I hear trash talk about Vassay, man, I get your back because I think you're killing it now.
Thank you. But you thought I stunk it up before.
No, I thought you were, the guy before, but now you're the man.
Okay. What do you have to say about the game tonight, Perrin?
I'm just flummoxed, and I'm not going to be the guy who piles on Dave Roberts. There's a lot of hate, and that's not fair. But I do not understand the batting order one bit. You have CT3 crushing it, batting leadoff, and then Mookie comes back nursing a hip and just goes right back to leadoff. I don't understand what he's bringing if he has to nurse a hip. Why CT3 can't stay batting first? I don't understand why Corey Seager comes back and is batting cleanup. 2 seconds back in the big league, and goes 0 for 4 tonight.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I'm
feel
not
like
trying to talk.
Perrin, I feel like the Dodgers, Will Smith was adequate cleaning up, and he did a fine job, especially since the All-Star break. But I feel like it brings a different dynamic to have Seager hitting cleanup instead of Cody Bellinger. You have to concede that point.
That's for sure. And frankly, I'll get to Bellinger in a second because that makes me crazy. But, listen, I got love
it's
for
almost
Seager.
midnight, Perrin. I don't think we can go through your laundry list of pet peeves here.
I'll make it a short list. Number one, CT3 staying first. Seager can work his way back up to the top 4, but it's too quick for him. An earlier caller mentioned it too. I'm not the biggest Pollock fan, but why is he batting 8 when he's killing it right now?
Somebody has to. They have really good players, Perrin. They have really good players. You would have complained if any one of these other guys were hitting 8th. They have really good players. And honestly, I'm with you. A.J. Pollock has been one of the hottest hitters in not only for the Dodgers, but in baseball. I would have liked to seen him get more at-bats in the game tonight. But who are you going to do that at the expense of? Muncy? Turner? Seager? Maybe. Smith? He's been swinging a good bat. Taylor? I mean, the only thing you could say is flip-flop Bellinger and Pollock. And the game did find Cody a couple of different times, but they have really good players, and they just have to play to their potential. Unfortunately, tonight, a really good pitcher beat them, and I don't think it had anything to do with the batting order. Let's go out to Christian, who is at Dodger Stadium tonight. Hi, Christian. You're on Dodger Talk.
David, man. I'm so disappointed in tonight.
Sounds like you're going to say some critical things now, Christian. I'm ready for it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Cody Bellinger, seriously? Like, why are we not sending him down to get some reps?
Yes, we get it. We're not sending Cody Bellinger down, Christian. I'm sorry. I know everybody's disappointed. He may lose at-bats when Trey Turner gets activated, but they are not sending Cody Bellinger down. I would be surprised if that took place.
When Trey Turner is available to play, I'm going to be honest, Bellinger's just going to have to sit, my opinion.
All right. Thank you for the phone call. 866-987-2570. I kind of sensed the direction of these calls were going to be directed towards Cody Bellinger tonight, especially when he struck out looking in the 8th inning. But like I said, he hasn't had a rhythm to his season yet. If we're talking the same things about Cody in September, okay. And honestly, there's a lot of competition now for at-bats. And at this point in time in the season, you're not up by 10 games. You're down 4 games in the loss column to the Giants, trying to avoid a 1-game wild card. So feelings are going to have to go to the side. And names on the back of the jersey are going to have to be ignored. You're just going to have to go with the guys that you have that are swinging the bats well and putting together good at-bats. That's as simple as it gets. And, I know the name on the back of the jersey means something as far as presents go, but in this point in time, I'm not sure how much longer you can go with that when you're adding a player like Trey Turner. He's going to play every day, and he might even lead off every game. Let's go out to Marcello, our final caller of the night. Make it good, Marcello.
Hey, thanks, man. Well, I'll just start by saying that, look, orange sucks. Giants, Astros, we don't like them. Doesn't matter. Tonight, there was a lot of fire starter in there, man. We had a lot of reasons to start a fire. It was a great play by Mookie Betts. It was the error at second base. It was watching Correa swing and miss. I mean, we had a lot of chances to spark a rally. The energy was amazing. But the bats didn't show up, and the fans really messed up Buehler, man. I mean, you could see Buehler's frustration. And I was embarrassed, being a lifetime Dodger fan. I had my 7-year-old boy with me. I didn't really want to take him, but we got hooked up with some good tickets right there in the dugout club. And man, a couple of those balls went right in front of us that people couldn't throw over the net. They shouldn't have been throwing them in the first place.
Yeah,
they even threw back Dodger balls, which was ridiculous and embarrassing. I mean, that's not the way I'm teaching my son to be a baseball fan. I mean, you got to be there thick and thin, especially as a Dodger fan. It's big swings. But we had a lot of reasons to do it tonight, man, and they just couldn't wake it up. And, hey, that's how it goes. But you got Butane on the mound. I mean, you got all the best names in baseball in the lineup, and you got to make it happen.
All right. Thanks for the phone call, Marcello. Good way to end the show, no doubt about it. And you said some reasonable things on how to behave at a baseball game. I completely agree with you. Anyway, I'm sorry I can't share part of the Reggie Jackson interview with you tonight. We'll try to do it tomorrow. In case you missed it, you could podcast it, hour 3 of the PMS show. So that's where you could hear the conversation with Reggie Jackson. Also, we talked to Max Scherzer before the game. You could find that at AM570LAsports.com or the iHeartRadio app. And tomorrow, Scherzer will be making his Dodger debut. He is 8-4 this season with an ERA of 2.76. He's going up against Jake Odorizzi, who is 4-5 with an ERA of 4.30. Morongo Casino Dodgers on Deck begins at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40. If you have a ticket to the game tomorrow night, not 7:10, but 6:40 first pitch between the Dodgers and Astros. Thanks to Colin Yee back at our Burbank studios. Thanks to Dwayne McDonald here in the booth. Also, our social media guy, Matt Demicky, who followed me all around the field and the stadium today to take video of talking to Max Scherzer, Chris Taylor, Joe Davis, and Reggie Jackson. And you can find that at the AM570 LA Sports Twitter account, the website, all of that. So thank you to social media, Matt, and thanks to you for listening. Unfortunately, the Dodgers come up short tonight as the Houston Astros shut out your Dodgers 3-0. Have a great night. We'll talk to you in a few hours. See ya.
This is the sound of all the things you want. And this is the sound of getting it super fast with GoPuff. Download now and order in seconds for delivery in minutes, all for a flat fee of $1.95.